everyone, this is Jennifer. Happy that you've come to share this practice with me today. This is going to be a gentle yoga practice, and we'll be doing some activities standing up. We'll be doing some part of this class lying down, some on our hands and knees. Please bring some tools with you so that you can have some assists to bring the floor a little closer, make your seat a little more comfortable. So I'm going to say this again. So Mike, when you splice this up, you can cut off the beginning. Good morning, everybody. This is Jennifer. Thank you for being here. This is a gentle yoga class. We will be doing some of this class seated. Some of this class we're going to be lying down on our back. Some of it will be on our hands and knees. Some of it will be standing up. Bring some tools with you to help you gently ease into your practice. For example, I have a couple of blocks nearby. If you don't have any blocks, that's fine. You could use extra pillow or some books. You might not need them at all. Another tool you have, I'm sitting on a cushion. This is going to lift my hips a little higher. If you don't have a cushion, you could bring in a folded blanket. This is also good for going under your knees or under your wrist if you need any extra support. So I'm going to set my watch so we can keep to about a 50-minute practice in total. And hopefully you'll enjoy and feel better in your body when we finish. Now, please remember, in every yoga class, it's up to you what feels good to your body, what doesn't feel good to your body. Don't worry if your shape doesn't look like my shape. It's your body, not mine. So whatever you do on your mat is completely up to you. So we're going to get started today in a shape called constructive rest. So please lie down on your back with your knees bent. Allow yourself to come to rest. Place your feet a little further apart than your knees. Allow your knees to hang toward each other in the middle of your mat. And allow your arms to rest, one hand on your belly and one hand a little higher up near your heart. Take a big deep breath in and a giant sigh out your mouth. As you come to rest here in this shape, allow your body to soften into the floor. Release the creases across your forehead and between your eyebrows. Soften the hinge of your jaw. Release your tongue in the bottom of your mouth. Notice the breath expanding the lungs, breathing into the back of your ribs, the sides of your ribs. Exhaling, squeezing the belly and pressing the breath up and away from your body. Feel the weight of your legs rest into your pelvis and into your feet. This is a good time to remind yourself that even when the world seems to be swirling and swirling around you, remind yourself that you can be the steady character in the center of the snow globe. You are fully supported by the earth beneath you. You are calm. You are love and you are light. Let's begin to add some movement. So we'll start by bringing your right knee into your chest. Hold on to your knee with your hands. Begin to turn your ankle around in circles. Squeeze and open your toes. Point and flex your ankle. Releasing your left hand, open your right knee to the right side, getting a nice groin stretch here. Begin to circle your knee around gently without rocking terribly across your mat. Reverse direction. Now we're going to pull this knee in again, and we'll find half happy baby. So keeping the knee in close, begin to lift the sole of the foot up so it faces to the ceiling. Your ankle is flexed. Option 2, extend your opposite leg out and press the sole of that foot away from your head. For half happy baby, you might take a hold behind your knee. You might hold on to the shin or your pant leg or up to your foot. Looking for back of the leg stretch on the right side, front of the pelvis stretch on the opposite side. To release, bend your bottom leg and let that foot come back down to the floor. Trade sides. Left knee comes in, turn your ankle in circles a few times, squeeze and open your toes, point and flex your ankle. Release your right arm, pull your left knee open to the left, groin stretch here. Begin to circle your knee around, loosening up the hip joint, looking to increase synovial fluid here, reverse direction. Moving into half happy baby, keep the knee closed, lift the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And even though we're bringing the foot up, what tends to happen here in the pelvis is that the pelvis wants to roll up. We want to do the opposite instead. We want to extend the tailbone away and down into the floor. Option 2, reach out with your other foot and press the sole of that foot away from you. Looking for stretch here in the back of your bent leg and the front of your straight leg or your base leg. And let's release that. Both feet come to the floor. And we'll start by widening the feet again. Deep breath in, arms expand over your head. And release. Arms come back down by your sides. Let's bring both knees into the shoulders this time. And we'll gently turn your knees around in circles without rolling across the mat. Gently, knees going in circles. Let's reverse direction. So you don't want to rock too much. You want to keep this circle on the back of your pelvis. This time we'll pull the knees apart from each other and we'll go in opposite circles, out and around. Reversing your circle. Deep breathing. And release. Drop your feet once again to the floor. Same leg position we started with, constructive rest. Feet are wider than the knees. And we'll drop both knees to the right side. This is going to allow for a slight lift under your left hip. And the arms will open up. Inhale, lift the knees again, and as you exhale, lower your knees to the other side. With the knees dropped out to the side like this, again, you get a slight lift in the right side of the pelvis. So if this does not feel good to your lower back or your hip socket, you could bring that knee, the top knee, the right one, lifted up a little bit so it's facing toward the ceiling. Then as you inhale, bring your knees back up. And this time, we're going to roll onto the side before pressing upright. So rolling over to your side, use your arms to push down into the floor. Bring yourself up to seated. All right, we're going to find a comfortable seat upright. Lots of ways to do that. You don't have to sit the same way I am. I'm going to use this cushion here. I'm going to bring my hips onto it, cross my shins. I'm going to try to bring my feet out nice and wide underneath my knees. Give me a nice equilateral triangle here. Sitting tall, take a deep breath in and release. Breathing out. All right, let's begin to move the neck. So what we're doing now is turning your head to look right and left. And release back to center. This time we're going to tip the head right and left. Back to center. Now we're going to drop the chin to the chest and lift the face up to the sky. Exhale, chin comes down. Inhale, chin rises up. And back to neutral. All right, let's add the arms this time. So fingertips will come out to the side. Inhale, your arms reach as you look up. Exhale, lower down, chin drops down. And reverse, reach up, look up. Exhale, chin down, lower your arms. One more time like that, reaching up and coming back down. Lifting up, hands will come to the shins. We're gonna lean forward over our shins. So reach your sternum out the front. Allow your hands to brace you on the ground, or you could bring your blocks under your hands. Leaning forward with a long spine, pulling your tailbone away from your head and dropping in as far as feels comfortable to your own body. You might pause halfway. Maybe resting on your elbows is where you end. Whenever your body hits its own bumper, make sure you stop at the curb. If you hit the curb, nobody wants to go up and over the other side. Inhale, lift from the head. Engage your abdominals as you reach yourself tall again. We're going to lean back this time onto the heels of your hands, and you can point your fingers out to the side, or you could point them forward toward your feet. Okay, whichever feels best to your hands. The feet are going to line up right in front of your sitting bones. Press your feet firmly to the floor. Lift your sternum while you press the pads of your fingers and the underside of each knuckle down into the floor. Lift your sternum. Option to also lift your hips, raising your hips up, coming into reverse table, keeping your head on the end of your spine. I'm a little close to the wall, so my head is against the wall. As you exhale, release down to your seat. This time, straighten your legs out in front of you. Taking a forward fold here. You're going to activate your legs. Tighten your thighs. Flex your feet so your toes are pointing up at the ceiling. Inhale to reach your arms up and lean forward. Once you get as far in this straight back lean that you can go, let your arms relax. Drop them down near your legs and fold like a stapler. Nice, straight, long body. When you have a stapler, you have two flat pieces that are folding on top of each other, right? You don't have a bent piece at the top that pecks at the bottom. So don't round your back. Keep nice and long and straight. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, come back up. And we'll bring the shins to cross the other way. So if you're not comfortable sitting cross-legged, perfectly fine. You might try your feet to the floor a little wider than your hips, and you can support yourself on your knees. You could also sit hero style with your knees out to the side, and you could sit on a block. That might feel better to your knees. Okay? Any situation that feels good to your body. So now that we have the legs crossed the other way, we're going to tip side to side. So let's bring your right arm up into space and exhale, tip over to your left. Allow your shoulder and elbow to drop and rotate your gaze looking down toward your wrist. Inhale to come back up and exhale, coming up and over the other way, tipping to your right. Again, let your shoulder and elbow drop on this side. Fingertips and knuckles are going to press to the floor. Reaching across, adding space on the left side of your body in between all of your ribs. Inhale, reach back up, and exhale, release down. Let's take a couple of those side to side. Reach your right arm up and exhale to the left. Switch sides as you inhale. Exhale to the right. Back and forth. Let the rhythm of your breath determine how quickly you move through this shape. Last one over here on your right side. Exhale. Inhale, coming up. Both arms up this time. Let's twist the ribs left and drop your hands down. As you rotate the ribs left, allow the hips to turn with you. Give yourself a little softness in your sacrum, in your lower back. And keep your head right on top of your spine without extending it forward or rounding your back forward. Coming back to the center as you inhale, arms lift. Exhale, rotate the other way and drop your arms down again. Breathe deeply here into the side waist, into your mid-back, into your heart space. Let's go back and forth with breath. Inhale up, exhale, rotate left. Inhale up, exhale, rotate right. One more time, inhale, lift, exhale, twist. Inhale, lift, exhale, twist. Back to center, lift. Hands come down, and one more time we forward fold over the shins this way. Reaching out the front, allowing your hands to support you, maybe elbows support you. If it feels comfortable and it's accessible for you, you could come a little further, maybe dropping your forehead all the way down to the floor, or make a little tower out of your fists and put your hands, your head on your hands. Or you could get your block. Put a block here. Rest your head for support on your block, right? If you've got tools, you can bring the floor as close to you as you need, okay? Maybe you only come a few inches forward with the blocks under your head and your elbows and fingers grounding you on your knees and the floor. You can really maintain connection with the earth even though you're folding forward. All right. Coming back up, we're going to take reverse table again, and your choice this time, maybe you want to try reverse plank. So we're going to lean back onto the hands. I'm going to turn sideways this time so you can see where I'm going. Lean back onto my hands. My fingers are going to point out to the side. I've got my feet directly in front of my sitting bones. As I press my underside knuckles to the floor, I lift my sternum and really broaden across the chest. Deep breath in. As you exhale, perhaps lift your hips up, stacking knees over ankles. Press down into all four corners of your feet. Open your heart, lifting your tailbone up. So if you'd like to try straight legs for reverse plank, the balls of your feet are reaching to the ground, toward the ground, as you lift your heart open. Release, tailbone comes down, legs extend out the front. Maybe remove some of your seat cushioning out from underneath your tush. Reach up on the breath, lean forward on the exhale, and rest your arms. Inhale, rise back up. And this time we'll come on to hands and knees for tabletop. So hands and knees can be tricky for a lot of us. So maybe you don't care for being on your knees. Maybe that doesn't feel good. So if you don't want to be on your hands and knees, or if you don't want to be in your wrists, for example, option to take a blanket and put the heels of your hands a little higher up than your fingers. Pressing into the fingers, gripping the fingers toward each other, and gripping the arms toward each other and the wrists toward your knees. Nice and strong here. Another option could be blanket for the knees. Also, taking two blocks, angling them toward each other at a little wedge like this. Then you'll place your forearms on the full length of that block, and you'll actively press your palms together. Maybe that means flat palms, interlaced palms, or fingertips, but press together, and that's going to activate the muscles across your upper body. Okay, you choose where you want to go with this. I'm going to come into cat and cow with my tabletop. So finding a nice neutral spine, inhaling in one direction and exhaling in the other direction. I'm going to choose to breathe in as I come into a cat stretch. I'm going to fill the back of my lungs. And then as I come into a cow belly stretch, I'm going to exhale with my mouth open. I'm going to use this stretch today and this breathing for myself today to allow me to blow away the stress that I'm holding in my body. Breathing into my back body and breathing out the front. One more time. Let's come to neutral spine and send your hips side to side. Then tuck your toes underneath and press back. Sitting onto your toes, get a good stretch there out of your toes. Inhale, rising again to tabletop. This time we'll extend out the right leg and the opposite fingers. So feel free to keep these on the ground. Lift one piece, maybe just the leg, maybe just the arm, or lift both pieces, all right? Completely up to you. We want to try to keep the bicep by the ear, and we want to squeeze the tush while we lift the heel without coming into a back bend, all right? Nice and long and straight and strong. Let's trade sides. Extending back this time through the opposite left leg. Again, your option to keep the foot and the fingers on the ground, maybe lifting one side, just the arm. Maybe only the leg comes up, that's up to you. Squeeze the tush back here while lifting your heel, pull your toes toward your head, and reach with purpose through your fingers. And release, coming back again to table. We're gonna go to that first side, right leg, opposite arm. Lift up, and then as you exhale, let's come to the center. Round your back for cat stretch, knee to eyeball, elbow to hip, chin to chest. Inhale to extend, exhale, come to the middle. Deep breathing. And inhale to extend, and we'll change to the other side. Left leg comes back to right leg comes forward. Breathe in and squeeze. Inhale, expand. Reach with purpose. Squeeze. One more time. Inhale, push your heel back, and exhale. Inhale, expand. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders and sweep your left leg out to the side so the sole of your foot is flat on the floor. Left arm opens to the side as well. Twist as you turn your chest to the left. Open up here. So if this is getting to be too much on your wrist, you could come to your fist or gently onto your fingertips and pull up from the middle of your body instead, really using the core muscles to hold yourself strong. Let's twist the other way. Both hands to the floor. Don't change your legs yet. Right arm reaches, twist right. This one's a little awkward, doesn't have nearly as much twist as the other side. And inhale, return to the ground. And we'll change legs. So the right leg comes out to the right. I'm going to turn around. Right leg to the right arm to the right, twist right, looking to the sky. Again, you might come onto your fist or your fingertips, really holding yourself with your belly. Return to the ground. Don't move your legs. Left arm opens, twist left. Going away from the extended leg. 3 breaths here. Back to hands and knees. This time we come into child's pose. Widen your knees, toes together. Have a seat back on your feet and reach your arms forward to relax. Modifications for child's pose. Maybe you rest on your forearms, make a little tower out of your fists for your head. Great time to bring a block underneath you if you're not reaching the floor. If your knees don't like child's pose, sometimes it helps to bring a cushion. Have a seat here. That'll keep your hips up a little higher. All right. Okay. From child's pose, we're going to switch into a left foot forward lunge. Okay. So if I'm on my hands and knees and I bring my left foot forward, I want to take care that I'm on 2 separate tracks here. I don't want to stand on the midline of my mat. I'm going to use my hands on my knee for support. Okay, so feel free to stay right here if that's where it feels best to you. If you want to tip over, if you want to use your blocks, you can keep the block under your hand. Okay. 1 foot forward, 1 block under your hand, which is under your shoulder, okay, if it feels too wobbly that way. All right. And we're going to reach up with the opposite arm. So with your left leg forward, You're gonna take your right arm to the sky and tip over to your left side. Inhale, come back up, bring your arm out to the side and twist this time to the left, bringing your right fingers to the front of your mat. So reach forward, not across. Okay, so come out the front, feel this opening across your shoulders. And now options to allow this left arm to either dangle down or reach it up gently out of your shoulder socket. Okay, so take care you're not wrenching this back arm way out the back behind you. Allow it to be soft in your shoulder. Inhale back to the center, option to reach to the sky, and exhale, we'll change legs to the other side. I'm gonna use my block as a tool, change to the other knee, and this time we'll bring my right foot forward. So I showed you that option, block under your shoulder, hand on your knee for support. You're always pressing into both feet, okay? So as you're pressing down into your feet, toenails in the back are pressing. If it feels more stable for you, you could tuck your toes. Doesn't work for everyone. Pressing down. Raising up your opposite arm. So if your right foot is forward, you're reaching your left arm to the sky, tipping over toward your right side for support. So this right hand could stay on your hip, or it could come to a block under your shoulder. Take care it's not out here somewhere. You want it right underneath your shoulder. Inhale to lift up, arm opens to the side, rotate into a twist, fingers reach to the front of your mat, shoulders open toward the side. Option to release your right arm to dangle below your shoulder or lift, gentle float up. So you're not going to be able to bring your arms in a straight line, right finger to left finger. That's reasonable. Don't try to expand it out the back. Come back to the center, option to reach to the sky, and exhale, we'll bring the hands to the floor. We're gonna come this time into downward dog or puppy. So for downward dog, you can tuck your toes under, keep your knees bent to start, press your hips up and back behind you, your hands down and forward out in front of you. So feel free to keep your knees bent as long as you like. Lifting your hips, gradually straightening your knees. Maybe they never go straight, maybe your heels never hit the floor, that is fine. And once you get where you're going, move through some pedaling of the legs to really stretch into the hips and the low back, maybe adding a bit of a twist. Pulling the navel up and back, pressing fingers forward and down. Now we're gonna bend the knees deeply and walk the hands backward so we come into standing forward fold back here. Drop into forward fold. I've got really bent knees so that my ribs can rest on my thighs. Relax your neck. Maybe you want to rotate your head, nod your head. Let's come into chair. We're going to modify this chair. Feet are apart, knees are apart. Drop your tailbone. Bring your elbows to your knees. See how flat my back can be right here? Want to keep that nice long flat back. Press into your heels. Bring your hands to your knees. Lift your heart a bit. I'm going to keep my elbows at my ribs and my palms to face forward. And begin to stand, rising up, arms reach over your head. Exhale, hands come back down in front of your heart. Shake out your legs. We're going to start by moving around the ankles. So place the top of your foot on the floor and roll your ankle around. Rolling through your heel. Bend your toes forward and backward. And shake out your foot. Try the other side. The other top of your foot goes to the floor. Roll your ankle around. Both directions. Bend your toes forward and backward. And shake your foot out. All right. Okay. From here, we're going to come into mountain pose and add some side lateral flexion of the body. So from here, take your arms and reach them up over your head, holding onto the back of your left wrist, lean to the right. Inhale, standing tall. Change sides. Sorry, can't see my hands. I'm a little tall, I guess, for this shape. Inhale, come back up. Bring your hands through the center and forward folding now. Bend your knees, drop into forward fold. And you can support yourself and hands on your knees or elbows to your knees. And let yourself rest down as much as comfortable into forward fold. Then we'll go into a half lift. Hands come onto the shins. Reach your spine forward. Legs are strong. And coming back down again. Coming up, half lift. Expand your back and your legs. Exhale, fold down again. One more time, half lift. Expand your legs and your back. Then from here, bend your knees and stand up. Reach your arms to the sky, hands together and to your heart. Let's take willows, gently flopping side to side. So as you twist, allow your arms to follow your shoulders. Just release them. No need to make the arms forcibly do anything. They're just gonna flop. Notice the heel of the foot that's behind you is gonna lift off the floor. That's gonna save your knee from torquing as you rotate in this twist. And release. Come to stillness. From here, we'll circle the hips around. Widen your feet a little wider than your hips. Soften your knees and begin to circle your hips around. From here, we go the other direction. All right, release that. We'll go side to side in the hips. We're looking for a stretch in this outer part of the hip. Okay, some of you might prefer to have your knees straight. Some of you might prefer knees bent. If you have crabby knees like I do, they get angry when I bend them too much. So you might want to keep your knees straight. All right. Okay, let's come into warrior one. So imagine if I'm going to face you for warrior one, I have a midline, a center line right down the middle of my mat. I'm going to step forward with one and backward with the other. Right? So with my left foot forward, I want to be sure that my right toes are gently angled out to the side. Maybe my right toes are pointing around 2 o'clock on the clock face, and I'm bending into my front knee. Tailbone down, zipper up the front, buckle in on your lower ribs, and let's take the arms forward. Place the palms so they face each other, thumbs up, and gently reach them up toward the sky. Breathing in and out. Twice more like this. One more deep breath. Release your arms down. Place the backs of your hands to your sacrum. Lean forward over your front leg. Get stable on that front foot and step to the front with your back foot. Reach up from here and hands come back down. All right, let's try the other side. So again, 1 foot forward, 1 foot backward on either side of the midline of your mat. I'm going to try sideways for this one. As you're coming into warrior one, we want to take care the body's not leaning forward. We want to bring it upright by dropping the tailbone and zippering up the front, buckling in the ribs, and raising the arms. This time, let's take lat pull downs as we go. You'll reach your palms up and then pull them down to the side, squeezing the bottom tips of your shoulder blades toward each other as you go. One more breath. Release your hands to your lower back. Lean forward over your front leg. Get nice and strong in that leg and step to the front. Reaching up and hands come to your heart. All right, this time we'll take warrior two. So step your feet nice and wide. From this wide stance, we're going to move into warrior two. You'll take your right leg, rotate it to the right so that the toes point to the short edge. Then your other foot, the heel is going to push a little to the back. Bending into that front knee, keeping the torso nice and tall. We don't want to lean over the front leg, right? Drop down in. Pressing into all four corners of both feet, gripping down into the floor and squeezing your feet toward each other. Arms float front to back, having a look over your front fingers. Strong warrior two here. We're gonna add some arms here. Arms are always optional. If it doesn't feel good to have your arms up, don't put them up. Let them rest down, okay? So from here, let's take bicep curls. Squeeze your fist in towards your shoulders with palms facing down. Now we're gonna rotate palms facing up, drop the shoulders, and you're gonna squeeze your hands into your shoulders again, bicep curls. One more of these, and release. Hands will come down, legs will straighten with parallel feet. So rotate over to the other side. Rotate your left leg so the toes point out the back of the mat. Heel is gonna push a little behind, bend into your left knee. From here, ground down into your feet, squeeze your feet together, tailbone drops, front leg is rotating open, so the sitting bone of your front leg is pulling forward, right? Arms float and have a look over your front arm. One more breath. This time we're gonna take bicep curls in again, fists come into your shoulders. Optional, always optional, no need to use the arms. Now we're gonna flip the palms up, curl them in again, fists toward your shoulders, squeezing in your upper arms. Upper arms always optional, right? If you don't feel comfortable, if you have a shoulder injury or something, go ahead and take your arms out of it. Now we'll straighten the legs, parallel the feet, and we'll heel toe the feet back together. All right, shake out your legs. So for this one, we're gonna move into some balancing moves. So you have the option to hold the wall. Okay, so if you're near the wall, go ahead and hold on. That's gonna give you some support. From there, you could lift and lower your legs. So what we're gonna do is marching. I'm gonna squeeze my elbows right up to my rib cage. My palms will face down, but I'm making a 90-degree angle out of my arms. Okay, so keep the elbows squeezed in. That's gonna activate our upper back muscles and our lat muscles. If you were holding something under your arm, you don't want to drop it, okay? So keep that squeezed in. And what we'll do here is marching with the feet. So come onto the balls of your left foot, get stable in your right foot, and lift your left knee so that it taps your left hand. Then switch sides. Shift your weight over to your left, lift your right heel, knee comes up, foot comes back down, and rest, all right? So you're gonna shift to one foot, lift the other knee, tap your hand, all right? Nice and slow, of course, using the wall, one arm at a time. You can still raise and lower both knees, but only one arm is extended in front of you, okay? So always hold on. If you don't have a wall near you, go get a chair, bring it back, hold it in front of you, then turn sideways, hold the chair, and lift your knees, okay? All right, shake that out. We're gonna alter this a little bit. This time we're taking an open rotation of the hip with this. So we started with our elbows at our ribs. We're gonna keep them there. Palms are facing down, but we're gonna rotate fingers out to the side so they face down. So in order to get our envelope from falling out from under our arms, we're gonna keep the elbows squeezed in tight. Shift your weight to your right leg, lift your left heel, rotate your knee open to the side. Now lift the knee and tap. Return your leg to the floor, but rotate it so that your feet land parallel every time. Right? Shift your weight, lift your heel, rotate your hip, lift your knee. As you return it, rotate it so your feet land parallel. All right, we're just shifting side to side. Lift and place, lift and place. Keep squeezing the elbows. Think about bottom tips of the shoulder blades squeezing toward each other. Step down on your base leg as if you're climbing up a stair. It's going to help you build a lot of strength in your legs. Last step, we'll lift the left, then we're going to shift and lift the right. All right, shake out your arms. Did you find your arms got tired? Mine sure did because I was squeezing them really hard. All right, shake that out. So this time we're going to take a version of that and come into tree pose, okay? So the same action is happening by rotating the hip out. So with the toe on the floor, give yourself a little pivot of the hip there. Then it will slide the heel over to the ankle and resting. I have my toes on the floor. I could also turn and hold on to the wall. Okay. Pressing, if you'd like, lift your foot, press it into the side of your calf. Okay. If that doesn't work for you, or you want to keep it on the floor, another option I love is using the block. Put the block on the floor nearby, rotate your hip open, press down into it. We want to stand equally on both feet in tree pose. If you're only using one leg, how do you stand equally on both feet? You press the lifted foot into the leg, and then you push the leg into the foot. Okay. So make sure both of those pieces are active. Arm shape is optional. Let's raise hands up if that feels good to you. Okay. If it doesn't feel safe, hands stay down or against the wall. Release the knee forward and shake it out. We'll go to the other side. When you're ready, rotate your knee open and slide your heel to your ankle. That might be where you stay. Find your place. Practice the balance by releasing your toes from the floor. Find the wall if you need. If you want to block comes under your foot. The whole foot gets supported by the block, but we rotate open the foot. Perhaps you're coming up, foot to calf. Press the leg into the foot, foot into the leg. Arm shape is optional. Maybe this time you take a W shape, keeping your elbows low. And release, knee comes back in, extend it out for a nice shake up. Okay. All done with this, we're gonna come down to the floor for a bridge. If you have a block nearby, keep it so that you can reach it with your hands once you're lying on the ground. Right? Coming down, onto your back, release your feet to the floor. So we'll start here with bridge flow. Arms are beside your body. Feet are on the floor just in front of your sitting bones. Press down into your feet, press down into your upper arms. Roll up tailbone first, lifting your hips toward the ceiling. Once you're here, breathe in, and as you breathe out, lower back down, rolling again, one vertebrae at a time. Breathe in, lift as you breathe out. Breathe in, lower as you breathe out. Let's do that twice more. Breathe in, lift, exhale. Breathe in, lower, exhale. Breathe in, lift, exhale. Breathe in, lower, exhale. All right, now you want to get your block. This time we're going to put it underneath the back of your pelvis. So lift your hips like you're doing bridge. Take this block on its lowest level and slide it under your sacrum. So what's the sacrum? You don't want it under your lower back, and you don't want it under your soft tush, right? You want it under the bony part of the back of your pelvis. You can experiment, see if it's in the right place. You want to feel a little bit of traction here in your lumbar spine, right down in here. Once you get here, option to lift one of your legs up, option to lift both of your legs up. You might need to readjust the placement of your block once you get there. And the legs are directly above the pelvis, so resist the urge to bring your legs over your head, okay? We want to lift the legs straight up. And imagine, if you will, the sound of a rain stick, the sound of the rain outside, and feel that energy trickle down into your torso from the soles of your feet. If you'd like, you could also lift your arms so your hands dangle in the air over your shoulders. Look for that same trickling of energy, hands to shoulders. One more breath while you're here. Release your arms to the floor, bend your knees, place your feet one at a time, lift your hips, remove your block, return your hips to the ground. Let's take the feet together and the knees open for butterfly. The arms are really extra in this shape for butterfly. They could rest on your thighs. They could land on the floor under your legs. You might try over your head, taking the opposite elbows. Any of those shapes that feels comfortable to your body. Deep breath in. Big sigh. And release, bring the knees up. We're going to take the feet wide again. This time, we're going to take a deeper twist. Lift your hips up and move your hips to the right. Bring both knees toward your chest. Drop both knees toward the left. Once you're over here on your left side, take your top shoulder and roll it back toward the floor, coming into a twist. This twist is going to be a lot deeper than the one we started out with, where we had our feet wide apart and we dropped our knees to one side. If that would feel better to you, by all means, go back one knee at a time. Another way to soften this twist is to take some blocks, put them between your ankles and your knees. Okay, you're going to stack up, knees on top of each other, ankles on top of each other, and come into a twist again. This is going to soften the sensation in your lower back twist. Let's come back to the center. From here, use your feet, lift your hips up, move them over to the left. Bring your knees in, across and down. Lower your shoulders toward the floor, so you're working both shoulders toward coming on the floor. Both arms can open perpendicular to your mat. So sometimes this shoulder doesn't want to go down and you end up sort of floating out here in space. That can feel really sore in your shoulder. So if this shoulder doesn't feel good, you could get your blanket and stuff it over here under your shoulder and maybe place your hand on your lower ribs. Coming back to the center. Any final stretches or movements that would feel good to your body, go ahead and take that now. We're on our way into Shavasana. Maybe you want to put your socks on. Maybe you want to put your shirt on. Put a blanket over top. Get all snuggly and rest. Allow your legs to extend out straight. If you're protecting your lower back and straight legs doesn't feel good, you could take your blocks under your knees. Backs of your arms resting, heart is open, deep breath in. Big sigh out your mouth. Try to stay here for at least 10 full and deep breaths. We don't have a lot of time for that today, but I'll invite you to stay for as long as you like. And when you're ready to finish your practice, gently roll to one side, sit up, and find your centering. We're going to stay for 5 more breaths. Begin to move fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Gently bend your knees and bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Say some words of gratitude to yourself, allowing for time for your own body, for your own spirit. Roll to your side. Take a moment here to breathe fully in and out. Press the ground. Bring yourself upright into a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Deep breath in. Big sigh out your mouth. Bow your chin. Take a moment to notice how your body is feeling after this time that you have invested in your own physical body, in your own spiritual space. On your next inhalation, lift your hands and face upward to the sky. Exhale, open wide and shine your light out into the world. Bring your hands back together once again in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in, big sigh out your mouth. Thank you everyone for taking this time to honor your own mind and body and spirit. And thank you for choosing to share your time here with me today. Namaste. Thank you. Alrighty, I pressed stop on the camera.
We did, okay.
Just the phone, I mean, not the camera, but the phone.
And this.